What's up, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast with me, Trevor, and Kyle again for another week, another local band episode.
Oh, it kind of sounded like at the beginning there you were like, "I'm sorry, you're here for another week," but I hope people are
Well,
happy to be here for another week.
I mean, teach their own, right? I hope people like these episodes. These episodes are fun. The ones where we're doing like the local band stuff, where we're like listening to smaller to us bands, right?
Right.
Because they seem to be pretty big within their own scenes, most of them, but smaller to us. And dude, it's a fun time. It's a good time.
It is. I mean, we've said this 100 times, but there's real good music out there. And, we take so much pride in like our own local scenes that I think sometimes we forget that like there's a local scene everywhere, you know? So it's
Right.
good. It's good to just hear new music. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, what have you been listening to this week?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually listened to a lot of like old AFI.
Did you see that they're reprinting
Was it
is
Black
it
Sails?
no.
No, they just reprinted Black Sails.
They did just reprint Black Sails, but it was announced I think today that they're doing what's the Halloween EP.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dang.
it's actually
Well,
pretty dope.
I might have to get that because that was like primarily what I was listening to too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like Total Immortal is like one of
Yeah.
the greatest songs ever. And
Dude,
if you
so
haven't yet,
good.
go listen to our AFI episode because we talk about it a lot. But I just sometimes AFI just hits right.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, they're reprinting that on vinyl. I think that they have it up on like 4 different locations on like different variants. So depending on what you
okay,
want to get. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's probably sold out. AFI tends to sell out as soon as they post crap
right.
like that. But at least go check it out if you're interested in AFI.
It's cool that because I saw they were playing shows recently, and somebody grabbed like their set list. I haven't seen AFI in like years, so I don't really
Yeah.
know what their set list is, but they still played songs off of like they played Days of the Phoenix. Like they still play a good range of like music from different time frames. So
Which they're on tour with 30 Seconds to Mars right now.
yeah, that
So
sucks.
that's kind of a weird. I would expect them to play more of their kind of current stuff,
Yeah,
you know? But I mean, I guess if you're going to see AFI, most of the people who are seeing them are probably like us,
right.
older. And so it's probably just more
It's a good
fanfare than
question.
anything.
That's a good question on like a lot of these older bands that we talk about is I wonder like I would like to know out of their fan base what percentage are like new to them, you know?
Yeah, that
Like
is good.
who would have found AFI in the last what, 5 years, 10 years?
And like just not known, like
Yeah.
that's where they started.
I don't know. I don't know how you go. They've been around like 30 years. I don't know how you go 30 years without hearing AFI or knowing who they are, but I'm
Well,
sure it
I mean,
happens.
like if you're younger, let's say you're 18, you know what I mean? 16, 17, 18 kind of thing. You're listening to current music. Who are they mixing it with? Like,
Yeah.
unless you're starting at like current stuff. So
Right.
you either have a parent who's showing you the old stuff, right? Or like significantly older siblings showing you the old stuff, or you're
Yeah.
listening to new stuff.
Right.
So
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I mean, I'd be interested. Some of the bands we've talked about, I'd be interested in like Parkway Drive. How many of them found them newer stuff? What are some other ones like Dropkick Murphys?
Dropkick's probably pretty hard though.
I
Because
don't
I
know.
don't know, like they don't like I don't feel like they are a band being promoted to the younger generation.
Yeah, probably not. I guess they're going on tour with is it Pennywise? And
Yeah,
you're not like a young kid being like, dude, I just discovered Pennywise. You know what I mean?
right,
You're like you're our age or older. So that's
right.
okay. So maybe not Dropkick, but yeah, like the Offspring, maybe. No, maybe not. They
That
might
that's
fit in.
they fall in
They
the
fit in with
same
them.
realm
Yeah.
as like a dropkick or something. I don't know. I think like AFI is like a good example of that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at stuff that we've looked at. So,
It's been too long.
but for real though, uh, did you listen to that new album I sent you today from Discontent?
No, I didn't. I didn't have time today.
So Discontent, that was sick. It was heavy, really, really heavy,
Where are
really
they from?
solid. Back east
Okay.
somewhere. I want to say Long Island, I think is what I saw maybe. But they got added to, well, first of all, we'll just talk about this. Wild West Fest got announced, and Wild West Fest this year looks great again.
It does. Looks
They
incredible.
uh they snagged a lot of bands. So if you're in Utah or surrounding states or want to travel into Utah, I mean, there's a pretty solid array too of what you're looking at. So running through just some of it real quick, you got Gel, Backhand, Bulldog, Desmadre's coming out. Discontent was on there, which is why I was listening to the new Discontent album. MS Paint, Ozone,
Dude,
no way out. Like,
Ozone's one of the best bands coming out of Texas right now. They're so good.
dude, they killed it this year. This is going to be a
Yeah.
solid one. So that's October 11th and 12th,
Is this the
and
first
it's
2 day?
stacked.
Have the Wild West Fest have only been 1 day, right? Or has it been two?
Last year was 2 days as
Okay.
well. I
Okay.
don't know about Wild West number one because this is number three.
Mm.
But yeah, last year it was 2 days as well. The first day may have been kind of like a locals and pre-release or pre-show party kind of thing. But
All right.
yeah,
That's sick.
so well, what other shows or anything else that way have you been seeing?
I swear we talked about a few. I don't know. I asked the promoters that are putting on the Saleson show, like who's playing with them, and they're like, we don't know.
I
So
saw that
I guess
TBD or
I guess we'll
whatever.
find out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Texas has a lot of bands. It'll just depend on who they want to bring out and stuff.
They're
And
not. Yeah, I don't know bands that would fit Saleson very well because I haven't gotten into that part of like Texas local music. So
I'm sure they're there.
I'm sure.
Like, but I don't think that we're really looking for that post-hardcore alt rock sound right now.
Yeah,
So you could go to that show and it could blow you away. There might be
maybe.
a bunch of bands there that are just super dope. But another tour that I saw come get listed, Unity TX with Silly Goose,
That's right.
Mugshot, and Soul Keeper, I think is the other band on
Yeah.
that.
Did you see the Stories So Far tour
And Koyo.
and Koyo?
Uh-huh.
I I'm not going. Like I'm super bummed because they're playing at like stadium type venues, and just I'm not doing that. And
It is
I got into like a really interesting discussion with my wife around this because
okay.
it was it's a double edged sword. It's bittersweet. And I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's bittersweet in the hardcore scene because you want these bands to like do well, right? You want them to be successful, but like it's selfish of me, but it's almost like I only want them to a certain level, right? Because I feel like once you pass a certain threshold, you stop being like the hardcore band that I love. And do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I get what
Like
you're
I feel
saying.
like it's I just like I'm happy that Koyo's playing these huge stages, but like I just saw Koyo a couple weeks ago at this tiny venue and it was intimate and we were up close. Like I even got the mic one time. Like I'm not gonna go pay for a huge stadium to sit in chairs or sit in the back. Like it's not the same. So like I'm happy they're having success, but at the same time I'm like, don't change. Don't
Sure.
ruin what's so good. So I don't know.
So I understand like the Data Remembers and a few bands like that that have been doing these stadium runs because I feel like their stage production, like they bring out the pyrotechnics, all of
Sure.
that good stuff. So it makes a little bit more sense for bigger bands like that. Will the story so far do that? Do you think?
Dude, I don't know.
Like
I
that's
don't
what's
know.
going to be interesting.
Yeah, especially because like I just have heard over and over again, and I haven't seen the story so far in a few years, but I've heard over and over again that recently it is not the same performance that they did back then,
Yeah.
right? Like there's no energy on stage. Like Parker just stands there the whole time, And so like you're gonna go to like a Nusana if you're from Utah, and the one down here in Dallas they're playing in is called Toyota, like the
Center, yeah.
Pavilion at Toyota or whatever. It's like it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, dude, I'm not gonna pay a bunch of money to go watch the story so far. Just stand around,
Yeah.
you know? So
I mean, honestly, like their style of music with their last couple of albums, it kind of fits that. Like, if you're gonna go the first two albums, it's not. But recently, you get some Proper Dose on there. You get the self-titled. It's chill music.
it's okay, that's fine. But like I can't think of a single style of music or artist or band or whatever that I would rather see in a stadium instead of like a small intimate venue.
I 100% agree with you on that.
And so that's my thing is like I just like I hate I'm glad that the story so far has made it to where they can live, they can make money, they can keep doing what they love. Awesome. But I also hate what they've become because it's not the same as dogpiling on stage with them or grabbing the mic. And I don't want that to happen to Koyo because I feel like they've gotten so big so fast that they're like, I don't know, that they're going to end up like that. And it's like, that might have been the last time I saw Koyo at a chance I could grab the mic from him, you know?
I don't think so. I think they're going to be okay. I think they'll do this run, and then I think that they'll throw some more intimate shows back up.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
it'll be interesting to see like a Koyo headliner, not the triple headliner, like a legitimate Koyo headliner. I'd be interested to see a show like that. So
yeah. Well, I think that triple headliner though, like it comforts me a little bit that like they chose to tour with bands that at least identify as hardcore
yeah,
kids, you know? And so I'm hoping that this was just like, look, come get your bag this fall and
yeah,
then go back to what you're doing with what you love. And if that's the case, like, awesome, man, I'm all on board. All right. I'm still not going to go, but like, cool. Go get your
yeah.
bag and then go back to doing it the right way, in my opinion. So
I want to see how many tickets they sell. I want to see how full these shows actually are.
they're not
So
going to Utah, right?
now
No.
that's the other thing too. It seems like it's only like 10 shows or something like that.
Yeah. It was a
It's not a
small
ton.
run.
So it'll be cool. It'll be interesting. I mean, the problem is story so far was just with the Day to Remember and 4 Year. And so people just saw him in that type of setting, which I think is
Right.
kind of going against them as well. So, and Koyo just did a massive run. I mean, yeah, this tour might flop. People love those bands. It
Right.
might be successful, but it
But you're
might
right
flop.
though. I don't know that the story so far is going to pull a crowd that a Day to Remember would.
Right.
So,
Right.
especially in a setting like that. So,
Well, and probably with whatever the ticket prices are going to be.
yeah.
I mean, maybe if ticket prices were $20 or something, maybe. But if they start running like actual amphitheater ticket prices, 35, 45, up to $70 kind of thing, I think it's going to be a hard
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
on that show. So,
Did we talk about the Bane tour?
no, I think that got announced like the day after we
Yeah.
recorded last time.
Let me pull
Which
it
was
up.
funny because we recorded and we were like, this is going to be the only time that we see Bane.
I know. Yeah,
So
that's literally what we said. We were like, this
Yeah.
might be the last time we ever see Bane.
And then they announced what?
Then they
That's like
announced
10 shows too, or something like that.
Well, it's two legs, yeah, two legs. I mean, yeah, not a third, but you know what I mean. There's a bunch of it's on like the East Coast and some of the Midwest, and then it's like a Southwest tour. So
Okay.
it doesn't go anywhere. Like Minnesota is the farthest north that it goes. The rest is like down here.
Sure.
It's the farthest like west that it goes and north, right? Because they hit Canada. So it's like a Canada up. It's New York up into Canada, down into Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and then Minnesota, and then it drops down to Dallas, a couple dates in Texas, and then they're out in California. So
Got it.
but I'm getting kind of tired of these tour announcements that just list 100 bands and then put the little like asterisk marks on the dates they're playing. It's
Sure.
like, dude, first of all, I'm not like a treasure hunter. Like, just give it to me simple. And second of all, when you put all these bands on there, you get my hopes up, and then I'm crushed when not all the bands come to my location. So, like,
Sure.
figure it out. But yeah, the Dallas Day is on November 8th. And let's see, we have, I don't know, because I don't know how to read this. Okay, here we go. We have Stick to Your Guns, Dare, Twist of Cain, and Crashing Forward. So
It's a pretty solid lineup.
yeah, Stick to Your Guns. Dare is way good. Have you listened to Dare?
Not enough. I've listened to
Okay.
him a little bit, but not enough.
Yeah, you should go check out Dare. And Twist of Cain is cool. I don't know
Yeah.
Crashing Forward.
Twisted
But
Cane's dope. I have listened to them.
yeah, some of the other bands like Terror's on there, Cro-Mags, Haywire, Hold My Own. Hold My Own is way dope.
Yeah.
Combust. Dude, I'm like dying to see Combust. So
There's a ton. There's
like I would bust if I saw Combust.
The one other show that I saw got announced was, and I don't think I'll go see this, but The Devil Wears Prada with Silent Planet, See You Space Cowboy, Like Moths to Flames, and Grey Haven. It's an interesting lineup.
Yeah.
Like, if you're into that style of metalcore right now, like it's actually a super solid lineup
Right.
for that style of metalcore.
Right.
So, you know, I just like, we're seeing them at Furnace Fest. I don't care to see Silent Planet. I've never been a big Silent Planet fan. And so
their first two albums are solid.
They're fine.
Okay.
I don't know. I just didn't get into them. I just didn't get into them. I like a lot of stuff of similar to that. I just never got into Silent Planet for whatever reason.
They're awesome live. I haven't seen them in a few years, but they're awesome. They're really cool live. So,
oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So,
but Grey Haven would be cool. Grey Haven's new stuff.
Grey Haven would be dope.
Yeah,
I'd be stoked to see that one. So, dude, there's so many shows coming through Utah though. Like, I swear, September through beginning of November is insane. You could go to like 2 or 3 shows a week almost. There's so much happening right now, and it's freaking awesome. I feel like we're gonna get a nice break for Christmas. Like, it's all happening right now.
To be honest with you, dude, my body is probably gonna need it.
You're right.
So,
and my wallet. Freaking kids are expensive when it comes to that stuff.
But before we get into the bands, check this out. So, I busted my wife's water bottle on accident.
Okay.
Is your wife on like the Stanley Crave or Craze?
Yeah, but we did. I want to say the knockoff brand or whatever, but yeah.
Smart. Anyway, so we had like these 40-ounce bottles. They were like perfect. They had like they like were smaller at the base, so you could fit them in a cup holder and stuff. But anyways, I was trying to open the lid and I busted the handle off it. So then I gave her my water bottle because I felt bad. And then I used my son's like little like 16-ounce, 12-ounce water bottle.
Okay.
And I was like, I just felt super dehydrated because I'm not going to get up every like, I want to go fill my water bottle. Like, come on. Anyways, I bought the big boy, a freaking 60-ounce water bottle, dude. It's so big that like I have to drink it with both my hands. It doesn't fit in any cup holders or anything. So it's freaking, dude. Like I filled it up once today and I'm not even done with it. It's incredible. Anything to calm down my laziness, but I just had to share that because I'm like super proud of my 60-ounce water bottle that like could kill a child if it fell on them, you know?
Oh gosh. My wife had she had one of a fatter based bottom water bottle for a long time, and she hated it because you can't take them anywhere. So
well, because my wife's like, how did you drive around with that in your car? And it's like, I had to put it on the passenger seat because it doesn't fit like in the middle console or anything. But whatever, dude. 60 ounces. Like, come on, you know. I'm gonna be the most hydrated person around. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Well, this week we're diving into another Furnace Fest band, and then we're also diving into what I think might be next year's like. Okay, before we like get into this, you guys know who they are. We're talking Delta Hate. We're talking Reviler. Both these bands started somewhere end of 2022, beginning of 2023. It seems like That's what I'm gathering from their social medias. I think that both of these bands have the potential to make the festival circuit next year. Like, you know
Absolutely.
how it's pretty much the same, at least 6 to 8 bands on every fest are currently going through, and then they fill it in. I think that both of these bands have the potential of becoming one of those next year staples
Yeah.
for the 2025 festivals.
Right. And honestly, like I don't want to say we've slept on these bands, but we've kind of held off on talking about these bands just because there's like cool stuff that they're doing. And so we were just waiting for the right time. We've wanted to talk about them for a while because they're both just incredible. And like obviously we say this every single time, like we wouldn't be talking about these bands if they weren't good. But at the
Yeah,
same time, like these two bands I think have a real serious shot of making it big.
I completely agree with you. So, where are we starting? Do we want to start Delta Hate or do we want to start with Reviler?
I don't know. You're running it.
Okay. Well, let's go on Delta Hate then.
All right.
So, Delta Hate again started. What I could gather was it looked like January of 2023 is when they started posting. They're out of Montgomery, Alabama, which is like hour and a half outside of Birmingham. So they're basically, part of that Birmingham Beham scene that we've been talking about. And they are on Furnace Fest this year. They are one of the Alabama reps, which is super cool. They are a heavy, heavy beatdown style. And so, like, it is right in the wheelhouse of a lot of the stuff that's coming out right now, but they throw on that like eerie feel to it.
Yeah.
So, like other bands we've talked about, Sewn Shut is another one that you get some of that. The other one, Nailed Shut.
Yeah.
Next is going to be Delta Hate Shut. Uh,
um,
but yeah,
you know who they reminded me of was like newer Zabalba. Like if you put on that Zabalba EP, the one they just released,
okay,
very reminiscent of that. Kind of this
okay,
like doom metal sound with like the eerie, like not organ or anything, but just kind of like this eerie, heavy, dark sound to them. And that's what I thought of the Zabalba EP. And so it reminded me of that. Now I like her vocals more actually. Again, you've heard me say this. I struggle sometimes with the really like death metal, doom metal, really low vocals with this stuff. I
yeah,
actually think that her contrast of high vocals worked really well for like the musical sound.
sure, yeah, I get what you're saying there. I feel like honestly, when I was listening to them, and maybe I just am forgetting, but I feel like Nailed Shut actually was like a really good band to kind of compare them to. Nailed Shut gets a little bit more deathcore.
Yeah.
They get a little bit more, even more on the, because they're like cerebral, right? So you get a little bit more of that stuff. But his vocal style is like that
Uh,
heavy, or excuse me, higher, same as her kind of thing. And yeah, dude, they have heavy ass breakdowns, dude. So it
yeah.
is awesome.
Dude, I even
Uh,
texted you like when I was listening to him that breakdown in Sanctuary.
yeah,
It just, dude, like I like Delta Hey. I think they're awesome. I think they're gonna make it big. It's not really my music right now, right?
yeah,
But holy cow, I could appreciate that song Sanctuary. It's so freaking good and it's so heavy.
yeah. The other thing that they're really capturing too is I don't think that you have to have catchy lyrics. So Sanctuary, they have an opening part where like people run up to the stage to sing the opening of Sanctuary with it. Like I was just watching their full set at LCY Media in Birmingham. They played it like 6 months ago or something like that. And people ran up to the stage to sing the beginning of Sanctuary. They have the part in RFB where it cuts and she screams "rat bastard" kind of thing. Like you get the sing along, the chanty. It's what you want in like a hardcore to be able to pile on, to want to
Yeah.
grab the mic, all of that stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely a sound that like and I feel like you don't always get this with some of these bands is it's a sound that really want like gets you to move.
Yes.
Because there are really good two-step parts, and there's insane breakdowns. One thing that I thought was really cool, and we talked about this when we talked about Sewn Shut, is there's a few things that are kind of like trademarked in hardcore, but it can sometimes get gimmicky, right? I think with Sewn Shut, we talked a lot about hitting like the little bell,
Yeah.
like that ding 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 ding. Ding. But with Delta Hate, it wasn't that. It was the like crisp pause, and then
Yes.
it goes like right into the breakdown. And dude, they did that so well. And it wasn't gimmicky. It wasn't like every song or before every breakdown, but it was like a few of their songs just had this awesomely placed pause, like where everything, guitars, drums, everything just stops for like half a second, and then the breakdown just hits. And I was like,
Yes.
oh yeah, that's it right there. That's real good.
No, I completely agree with you. So you already called out Sanctuary. We called out RFB. Was there any other like songs that like stood out to you that you can think of just off the top of your head?
Not names. I mean, Sanctuary was probably the biggest one that stood out to me the most, but no, it's solid. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm bad with names. I should have written it
That's
down.
okay. The one other song that I would highly recommend is Touch. It's the last song on the EP. Uh, and which the EP is called Touch too, actually, I think, right? Yeah, or the album. The album's called Touch. But they have the breakdown at like a minute 30 where it is just mean with her just like going like super high, holding out the scream, and them just doing the dun 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 dun. It's just mean. So, and then it goes into another like slower breakdown. Just
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that I liked. Now that you're like reminding me, I just had it on for a second. I like Touch because it was a little faster.
Yeah,
It
at
was
the
a little
beginning,
faster
yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, I get what you mean by that breakdown. It's kind of a cool like. I don't know. It's like I said. It's music that really makes you just want to move. Like you really
Yeah.
just even that breakdown where it's like kind of like the quick chugging and stuff. You're just like, yep, I'm
Yep.
gonna go hit someone.
I feel like this set at Furnace Fest is gonna go off.
Yeah,
I think that this is going to be a solid, uh, solid set.
yeah.
So they're playing like they're getting brought into a lot of the big bands that are coming through. When Southpaw rolled through, they were playing with the Southpaw show. They actually played the Reviler EP release show. So they made their way out to South
South Carolina.
Carolina and played the Reviler show, which is super dope. Dude, I really think this is the band that could
Yeah.
pop next year. So keep your
Well,
eyes on Delta Hate.
it's it's a really good timing for it because like I wouldn't say um that the market is being overdone right now with like girl fronted bands that sound like that, like the closest that I could think would be like Dying Wish,
Sure.
but Dying Wish is having a ton of success,
Yeah.
and so I think that they're in like a really good spot market wise to like really make some noise, right? Because it's I don't know, like you just get worried with not, and like I think it's awesome that there's more women in hardcore. We need that, and there's some awesome ones out there. Um, but like you listen to bands like Gel and Scowl, and like you're kind of like, okay, like that sounds just kind of becoming popular with women front bands and stuff. So, but I like that she was like, nope, we're gonna be freaking heavy, we're gonna be in your face,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be dark and it's gonna be heavy. And so like I think that they're like nailing it on the head right now.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why I think they're gonna have a chance of getting real big. Is like the only other band I can think of is Dying Wish.
And even Dying Wish is more metalcore. You
Yeah,
get a lot more metalcore riffs throughout Dying Wish. Like her vocals are incredible as well. Emma's vocals are super solid. Shay's vocals, her name is Shay. Awesome.
yeah,
Both of them are fantastic. And they're just like that much heavier on
hmm
like the hardcore aspect, but both bands killing it right now. So
yeah,
super
absolutely.
pumped on them.
Yeah, they're gonna be good. I'm excited to see them. So,
Me
um,
as well.
outside of Furnace Fest, do they have anything else coming
I
up?
was trying to look at their page. It looks like this one is tomorrow, so this episode will be out after this show happens. But they're playing with Gimmick, Gut Check, and who's that other one? Ultimatum, who's a
And
Texas band actually.
this is in Beham. This is right in the Beham, or are they playing outside of the Beham?
No, this is Birmingham. And
Okay.
then Yosemite and Black is the headliner, I believe, on that
Mm.
show.
I only
So
know Gimmick. I haven't heard of
yeah,
the band.
I'm pretty sure I only know Gimmick too. It says Gut Check is Atlanta Metallic Hardcore, I think.
Hmm.
Yosemite and Black, Atlanta Hippie Hardcore.
What does that
Gimmick
mean?
is Beham. And then Ultimatum is Texas. So
Hmm. What's hippie hardcore? Is it like
no
Beach
idea.
Boys with breakdowns? Because I
Yosemite in Black.
isn't that just Drain?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is Drain's probably? I mean, they have boogie boards at their shows. I'm pretty sure they open to like Beach Boys too, don't they?
Probably. No, I'll have to check out Yosemite in Black. I don't know.
Yeah. All
That'll
right.
be interesting to take a look at that. But well, dope.
Surfcore. I mean,
Surfcore.
yeah.
I've got it on right now. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narrate it. What's it like?
Kind of drainish.
Okay.
Like, so I'm listening to Cold Shoulder right now.
When you say drainish, like it's a little thrashy, is that?
Yeah, you get a little bit of like thrashy.
All right, I'll check them out.
I don't know. I think that they're worth probably
You have,
throwing on.
you have
It
Pete Flake.
looks like they actually have a decent following. I mean, they've got 39,000 listens on
Yeah.
Spotify. So this is probably a band who we should know and we don't. So screw us, right?
Come on, man. We know Delta hate and Reviler, so that's whatever, dude. You know?
On to Reviler.
On to Reviler. All right. Yeah. So formed around 2022 or something like that. Out of South Carolina, Greenville specifically, because I know we've talked about
The
a few
Charleston scene.
yeah, South Carolina bands and stuff. So this was a band that actually I think we were kind of quote unquote introduced to after talking to Strikeface and Intimidator. But the South Carolina scene's got just straight bangers coming out right now. Real good stuff, you know? And Reviler, I think, is forefronting a lot of that. They're more of a traditional hardcore sound, maybe a little like on the metallic hardcore. Like, I don't know if you've listened to a lot of like Life's Question and bands like that. I think it's kind of like a more metallic-y hardcore instead of like straight punk hardcore. But really, like, I really resonate with this sound. They just released an EP / album. I don't know. It's 7 songs, so I guess it goes.
It says album.
Says album. Okay.
Yeah. So
All
Devastation.
Right. Yeah, it's called Devastation, released this year, and it's straight bangers front to back, you know. And I appreciate. We've kind of talked about this with interludes, but we didn't really get into it about intros. Do you like the intro that's like super short with no lyrics, that's just like the music intro?
Well, they don't have that.
It's kind of like that.
Saying.
They don't really sing they don't really sing that much in it. It's like a short song that just,
I mean, it's 1:50, and it's the one where they're screaming their name, Reviler.
yeah, that's like it.
I know, but there's the ones that are like legitimate, like musical intros and stuff like that. I don't care for those. Like, actually, Delta hate their intro, like because they do something similar.
Uh-huh.
I don't care as much for just the sound of an intro. I would rather you punch me in the face on your first song. And I actually think that Reviler does that very well. I think that this one has a good intro to it. You get a lot of like the more just like bass coming through. Like they have parts where it's just the bass playing, you know what I mean? And so it's just heavy. It sets the tone really well on this album for sure.
It's it's one of those songs that like when you see them live, you know that's what they come out with. And it's one of those songs that, and it's like with Delta Hate, it just gets you moving. Like you're
Yeah.
not really like, it's not like really a breakdown, but it's just one of those like where you can just feel like the anticipation grow in it. And it's a like perfect intro to like clear the area for a pit, to start moving, to start swinging, but it's not like a full breakdown. And so I love that. I love that it's this like anticipation builder, because then it goes right into their second song that just hits you right in the face.
Yeah.
You know?
No, to your point, it's very much I'm going to stomp across the pit. I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
stomping across the pit, slamming into the other side. I might spin across. I might hit a few people on my way through. It's not real. And then it hits you with the breakdown. The pit's open. Now you can swing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, songs like this are awesome. I freaking love when bands open their sets with it. And I don't love the horseshoe, but it's always fun to make the horseshoe,
I know. That's like, yeah, like the funnest part of the pit is just bull rushing and stomping over people to get it opened up. That's like the best part.
I swear when we were younger, it was the funnest thing to do being like a small kid is like the three of you like turn into a little circle and you go down low and then just push on like everyone's knees just to like get everything open. Dude, it was always great.
I took my little brother to like one of his first hardcore shows. And I say my little brother, but he's like quite a bit bigger than me. And I went behind him and I was like, all right, dude. I was like, whatever you do, don't stop running. And he's like, okay. So I grab him and we just start running, dude. And he starts swinging while he's running. And you just see like, I don't know, dude. It was like a freaking Avengers movie where like Hulk's just like throwing people out of the way. Like that's what it looked like with it. But yeah, anyways, this is like the perfect song to do that to. Because it just gets you moving, gets it open, goes right into the second song, and just punches you right in the face. But what did you think of this album overall?
I mean, overall, I feel like the same as you. It's a sound that super resonates. I've been waiting for this album. The only reason we haven't talked about this band sooner is because we knew the album was coming out, and then we got hung up doing a few different things, right? But we've been sitting on this. We've been listening to it. I've listened to this album a lot. If you follow along, like you've seen me on my like grids weekly. I feel like every other week, this album's on there. I listen to this a lot.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I genuinely, not just because it's like a local band that or whatever, I like, and not because it's a band that we're just talking about, but like if I wasn't doing a podcast and trying to like help people learn about local bands, like I would still 100% be listening to this album front to back nonstop. It's such a good sound. It's such a good mix of like straight up hardcore with some like metallic influences in it. And that's like specifically the sound that I'm looking for right now. That's like really what's got, tugging on my, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. And then again, we talked about it with Delta Hate. You've got a lot of very singable parts here.
Yeah.
Like the one that really stand out to me is in Callous to Devastation. That how many black boxes, how many folded flags. Like, dude, it's just like it's a call to action in the pit. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like people should be moving forward, grabbing, all of that kind of stuff. Like, it's great. There are 3 songs that they released prior to the album, though, too. Cruel World, Fear and Isolation, and what was the other one?
It is
Broken Tombs.
So I've got a few. I've got like Rejection of Sanity, Cruel World, Broken Tombs, and Fear and Isolation.
Fear and Isolation, is that on Devastation? Fear and Isolation's on Devastation. Okay. So yeah, it was Broken Tombs, Cruel World, and Rejection of Sanity.
Yeah.
All 3 of those singles are great. Cruel World is the first song that I heard by these guys, and it was one where I was like, okay, I'm tuned in to seeing what Reviler's doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can listen to all of it.
I'll also say that, like, dude, these guys are dope with their names. Like Reviler, first of all, is a sick name. Delta Hate's a sick name too. Reviler is a sick name. But just some of these songs, like Rejection of Sanity, like, I don't even know what that means, but it's dope. Like, I'm all here for it.
Sure.
Cruel World, Broken Tombs, like, dude, those are incredible, you know?
Right.
So I just no, dude, I'm all here for it. So they're playing a ton of shows. They actually just made a run out to the Pacific Northwest
Yeah,
and played
which come on, guys.
right.
Like, come to Utah. Don't go there.
No, I
And
mean,
screw
yeah, come to
Texas.
Dallas, dude.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, honestly, the Pacific Northwest is awesome. And like the shows have looked way dope up there too.
Yeah. So did you see the message I sent them though about
Yeah.
the so if anyone like follows Reviler, and I hope you do, and you should, but on one of their shows, and we got to find somebody up there to tell us about this, but there was a kid dressed in like a freaking like white ninja outfit. And so like I messaged up. I was like, I didn't know the three ninjas were at the show, or I can't remember what I said, but yeah, I was like, what is like, why are you dressed like full thing, like full mask, like full ninja mask and everything? So
Yeah.
I said, why is there a guy from the Three Ninjas in the pit? And he was like, several have asked, none have been able to answer. Like, I don't know, dude.
Listen, man.
Are you more or less scared of a person dressed up like a ninja in the pit?
I mean, in all honesty, probably less.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Probably less. But then the dude's legitimately gonna like head kick you, and you're gonna be like, well, shit.
Right?
So
He just like freaking Rey Mysterio like does the weird like legs around your neck and like flips you around and stuff. And yeah,
luchador style wrestling.
exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
But no, dude. Yeah. So they played a bunch up in the Pacific Northwest. They're I think playing tonight, and so obviously this will be after they played. But they have a couple shows coming up in the Greenville area and stuff. But outside of that, I don't really know tour wise what else they have going on.
yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, it sounds like their vocalist was out of town for a minute. Then they had these shows that they ran through. I mean, to get all the way from South Carolina to the Pacific Northwest and all that stuff, it takes time, it takes money.
Yeah.
So they might just be staying put for a minute, but keep
I
your
don't know,
eyes.
man, like
I'm sure there's more to come.
small bands like that being able logistically to play a tour on the other side of the country, like that bodes well for them. You know, I hope they didn't
Oh,
like kill themselves to
100%.
do that, but like that's the kind of crap you got to do to make it big. And like I saw their shows, man, like people were going out for them in Pacific Northwest, and that's all that does is bode well for them. And I'm super excited to see what comes next.
Yep. I said at the beginning, I'll say it one more time. I think that both of these bands have the chance to be like staples in 2025. I think that we could see some really solid tours with these guys or doing the festival circuit. I could see that being a case too. You know, the one thing that we don't know when we're talking about this stuff is just kind of what personal situations are because we do talk to bands where they're like, you know, we can do we'll go a week out to the Pacific Northwest. We'll do that. But we don't have the whole summer. We've got
Mm-hmm.
families, we got kids, we got jobs,
Yep.
whatever it is kind of thing. But if they want to, they are talented enough to go and do it. And I think they would get incredible turnouts
Yeah.
for their sets. So
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Cool guys, excited to see what comes out from them in
agreed.
the future.
I
Yeah.
think that their EP release show or their album release show looked awesome too. They did the one thing that was really cool, and I wish more bands would do this, is they did like tickets, physical tickets.
Ah, yeah.
Did you see those?
Uh-huh.
And like, I loved keeping my old ticket stubs. I still have a stack of ticket stubs somewhere, but just like a little piece of local band history of being like, I was at that album release show, keeping that ticket. Like they made it really cool looking. I think they like hand numbered them and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
your brother, when we did day two, pulled out his albums from the day two release shows.
Yeah.
That
And
stuff is
that's
dope.
like 20 years later.
Right.
That's like 20 years later that yeah, dude. No, and I actually think that hardcore in general is kind of bringing the art piece back to it, right? Like we're getting cooler flyers. We're getting, vinyls are making a comeback, which means you have to like do cover arts again. You have to care about that stuff. I don't know. Also, if you've seen like some of the stickers that Reviler has, like they have a sticker of this like the kid that's like taking a piss and it's like
Yeah.
on their band name, which I think is freaking hilarious, right? Like that's awesome. Like that they can poke fun and have fun with what they're doing and stuff. So I don't know. That's really cool. I forgot about the ticket thing. That's a good call out.
Yeah, it was really dope. So yeah, keep an eye on both these bands. Definitely go check out Reviler. The album was Devastation. Check out Delta Hate. The album is Touch. Uh, I think both albums will run you half an hour to listen to both, kind of thing, like maybe 40 minutes. So definitely worth your time.
You guys can think that like me and Trevor are the dumbest people in the world, but like, these bands are great. Like seriously, if you disagree with everything else we say, just go listen to these bands and judge for yourself, because you're going to be impressed. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then eventually you're going to catch yourself agreeing with all the dumb stuff that I say. And, that's when you know that like you're in a good spot in life. So
no, that's when you know you've messed up. Well, sick. Cool. I think we'll see what ends up being our next episode. I know that we're trying to schedule a few more guests to join us. So we'll see if we're able to get those guys or any of those guys to come together.
May not have been somebody we talked about tonight. I mean, who knows what we can do,
I mean, maybe after this album, they won't want to join anymore, but who knows? But then we're going to do another Furnace Fest episode at some point, and then we're going to get back onto nostalgic band for us. Yeah. I think to be honest, we scrapped an episode. It just didn't cut it. Our episodes suck anyway, so if we scrapped it, it sucked.
So, our bar is already way low, and the fact that this one didn't make it should say a lot.
It says a lot.
Quality was.
But we'll probably talk Haste the Day for our next nostalgia band, because I think you and I both agree that is very important that we talk about.
We actually have 2 episodes that have been scrapped, and we still need to talk about the other one.
We'll have to, have to remind me. Oh my gosh. That was our very first episode though. We didn't even know what we were doing. So we recorded just as a test episode, and we do need to make it back through thrice.
We do need to make it back through because it's my all-time favorite band, so we have to talk about them. But
we'll get there.
We'll never see the light of day.
No, it was pretty rough. So okay.
So, I blame Josh. Josh hasn't been on here for a little bit, so we can just blame him for everything.
Well, he probably doesn't even listen to this, so he probably doesn't care. So, all right, cool. Well, anything else before we jump off?
Nah, dude, this was fun.
Sweet. Okay, keep your eyes peeled. Catch you guys soon.
Yep. See ya.
Peace.